What if the Trail Blazers drafted Michael Jordan? In the 1984 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers held the second overall pick. With it, they famously selected Kentucky center Sam Bowie, leaving the Chicago Bulls to draft Michael Jordan third overall. Hindsight has transformed this decision into one of the most scrutinized in sports history. But what if the Trail Blazers had chosen differently? What if Portland had drafted Michael Jordan? Well, let's start by saying the 1984 NBA draft is arguably the greatest of all time. It included Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. And of course, most notably, it's famous for Michael Jordan falling to the Chicago Bulls with the third overall pick. So in real life, it went first. Pick, Hakeem Olajuwon, Houston Rockets. Second pick, Sam Bowie, Portland Trail Blazers. Third pick, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. But in this, what if we flip Bowie and Jordan? Within a decade of the selection, Jordan won the first of his 6 championships with Chicago. He's third in finals history in points scored, fifth in minutes, and fourth in box plus minus. At 6, he's also the all-time leader in finals MVPs won. Jordan and the game's biggest stage seemed inseparable for much of the 1990s. As for the players taken before Jordan in 1984, the number 1 pick did fine for himself. Hakeem won 2 championships after Jordan's detour through minor league baseball. Sam Bowie, on the other hand, had a career marred by injury and played in fewer playoff games than Jordan did in finals games. On a personal level, a healthy career would have allowed Sam Bowie to realize his potential and avoid becoming a cautionary tale. He was a hard-working player with real skill, unfairly remembered more for his injuries than his ability. In this alternate reality, Bowie might have earned all-star nods, led playoff runs, and been remembered as one of the better big men of his era. Charles Barkley, 5th pick, Philadelphia 76ers. One of the most dominant undersized forwards in NBA history. Despite being just 6 feet 4 inches to 6 feet 6 inches, Barkley was a rebounding machine and offensive powerhouse. Never won a ring, but his charisma made him a beloved figure and TV personality post-career. John Stockton, 16th pick, Utah Jazz, the quintessential point guard. Stockton was a master of the pick and roll, especially with Karl Malone, a model of consistency, and held 2 of the NBA's most unbreakable records, assists and steals. He played all 19 seasons with the Jazz. Kevin Willis, 11th pick by Atlanta Hawks. All-Star selections, one time, 1992. Impact, had a 21-year career, mainly known for rebounding and interior toughness. Alvin Robertson, 7th pick. One-time All-Star, 4-time All-Defensive Team, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year. Otis Thorpe, 9th pick. One-time All-Star, won a title with Hakeem in 1994. First, to understand the implications, we need to consider the Blazers' roster and mindset in 1984. Portland already had an all-star shooting guard in Clyde Drexler, drafted a year earlier. The team's front office felt it needed a dominant big man to pair with Drexler and improve its chances of long-term contention. Sam Bowie, though plagued by injuries in college, seemed to fit that need. But had they taken Jordan instead, the Blazers could have formed arguably the most explosive backcourt in NBA history. A Jordan-Drexler pairing would have presented both promise and complications. While Drexler was a star in his own right, Jordan's drive and dominance may have quickly made him the focal point. Portland's coaching staff and management would have needed to decide whether to build around both or eventually move Drexler. Drexler might have been traded eventually, or they'd have made it work like later duos, e.g. Jordan plus Pippen. With better roster support, Blazers were playoff contenders in the mid-late 80s. Jordan could have started winning earlier. Championships? Portland might have dominated the late 80s, early 90s instead of Chicago. Either way, with Jordan's relentless work ethic and transcendent talent, it's likely the Blazers would have risen to prominence much sooner. Jordan's presence could have changed not only the Blazers' fate, but also the entire NBA landscape. Without Jordan, the Bulls might never have become a dynasty. Jordan played a massive role in making the NBA a global phenomenon in the 1990s. The 1990s NBA might have lacked its most iconic figure, and Nike's global brand explosion might have looked very different. A smaller market team like Portland might not have had the marketing power Chicago did. The Air Jordan brand might not have soared to the same heights, or might have looked different entirely, or might have become the league's commercial and competitive centerpiece. However, the what if also comes with caveats. Portland in the 1980s did not have the same organizational stability or visionary leadership that Chicago offered Jordan under Jerry Krause and coach Phil Jackson. Without Jordan, the Bulls wouldn't become the global brand they did. They may have remained a mid-tier team or tried building around other stars. Phil Jackson may never become a head coach in Chicago, or even at all. Would Jordan have had the same support in Portland? Would the Blazers have been able to attract the right complementary players or adopt the triangle offense that elevated Jordan's game? It's not guaranteed. Arguably, drafting Jordan would have brought success to Portland, perhaps even multiple championships. Yet, the perfect storm of circumstances that created the Jordan legend in Chicago, his coaches, teammates, rivalries, and media spotlight, might never have fully materialized in the Pacific Northwest. In conclusion, if the Trailblazers had drafted Michael Jordan, NBA history would have been rewritten. Portland might be home to 6 or more championships, and Chicago could have remained a basketball afterthought. Still, while talent defines opportunity, the environment shapes legacy. Jordan would have been great anywhere, but the Jordan we know today was as much a product of his greatness as of the ecosystem that nurtured it. Other ripple effects. Kobe Bryant and LeBron James may have had different arcs. Both grew up idolizing Jordan and shaped their games accordingly. The GOAT debate would look different. Jordan's legacy might have 7 to 8 titles, or fewer, depending on team dynamics. Nike and Oregon connections, Nike HQ is in Oregon, maybe even stronger synergy with Jordan in Portland.